Hello, it's Phil here for Digital DJ Tips with another one of our 10 commandments for better digital DJing. We've reached number 7, and number 7 is know how to deliver great sound quality. Now, you know, having good sound quality isn't going to make you a great DJ, but all great DJs know how to deliver great sound quality. It's a given. It's something you should just be doing in the background. It doesn't take skill. Just takes a good ear and a bit of knowledge, and you should be doing it. Whatever your music, whatever your scene, whatever your stage of DJing, you should be doing this. And no one needs to know, no one needs to notice. People only notice when you start to sound bad. So it's one of those things that you just have to nail. The problem with digital is that there's lots of DJs out there who use crap software, who just sit there with a laptop and either play straight from YouTube or play dodgy rips from YouTube or from other places. They've kind of recorded streams of music on their internet, on their laptops, and are just using that stuff to DJ with, and it sounds awful. The reason it sounds awful is that none of that music was intended for the kind of performance, the kind of use that digital DJs, thinking they're being clever, are using it. Streaming music and YouTube music to a large extent, a lot of other online services deliberately don't sound very good. You look at the TuneIn radio app for iPhone, for instance, and a lot of the streams on there are 48 kilobytes a second and 96 kilobytes a second. Now the minimum as a rule of thumb for AAC, which is your iTunes files, is 256 kilobytes a second, which is how iTunes delivers them, and for MP3s it's 320. And you know, a lot of DJs won't even touch MP3s. They will only use lossless formats. MP3, AAC, they're lossy formats. That means that the size of the file has been reduced massively for a trade-off of a very small or a small reduction in the sound quality. Some DJs won't even have that. They'll only use lossless files. So the problem with digital is that there are people who don't understand some of the stuff we've talked about in earlier commandments with PAs and mixers, and you know, getting used to what happens after the signal leaves your DJ controller, and the fact that the sound on a lot of digital audio is below par, and yet DJs who don't know any better are using it. In the old days with vinyl and with CDs, there were people in the studios whose job it was to master the music. Now that meant they took a finished song, a song left your composition suite or wherever you made it, and you gave it to someone who mastered it for the vinyl or for the CD, and their job was basically to analyse the spectrum, make sure everything sounded right, make sure there was punch in the bass, make sure the hi-hats were twinkly, and make sure that when it was put onto the physical medium that you were going to play it from, it sounded as good as possible. Now with digital, that stuff's gone. So you know, the old school DJs using vinyl and CDs had a professionally mastered piece of music. All they had to worry about, in the case of the vinyl DJs, was whether there was any fluff on the needle. But those days are now gone, because with digital there's poor or non-existent mastering in a lot of cases, because someone will sit there, make a track, put it up on YouTube, stick it in the iTunes store, and it hasn't had that professional ear before it hits somewhere where you can buy it or get hold of it, especially on SoundCloud as well. So there's poor and non-existent mastering, which means you need to watch out. There is the fact that even legal files, even files you bought properly from bigger names, can sound rubbish. If you look at, just Google the loudness wars, look at all the stuff on the loudness wars on the internet. There's a post on it on Digital DJ Tips as well, which I will put in the resources for this particular video. You will see how, unfortunately, the sound quality overall of recorded commercial, and by commercial I mean sold, music has dropped in the last 10-15 years, quite substantially. And there's videos out there that will prove that to you. I recommend you watch one of them. It will be linked from our post, so have a look at that. So even files you bought legally could sound bad. So you can see that for the digital DJ there's quite a problem here, and if you want to conquer this and get back to the heyday of playing great sounding recordings on good equipment properly, there's just a few things you need to be aware of and a few things you need to do. So the solutions really are simple. The first solution, which is the easiest one to say, the hardest one to do, is trust your ears. Trust what your ears are telling you. Have good speakers or good headphones and listen critically to every track you're allowing to your library. You know, does the bass sound muddy? Do the lyrics sound dull? Do the hi-hats sound harsh, or are they polished and nice? Do they even exist at all? You know, that it can sound very muffled. It can sound like AM radio when you're listening to a bad MP3. You know, be honest. Especially be careful with stuff that you've either ripped yourself or someone has ripped for you from your vinyl, because that process can, if not done properly, vinyl rips can sound terrible compared to the equivalent digital file. So use your ears, that's the first thing. Second thing is a big trip up here, is don't trust what a file tells you it is. Now if it says it's an MP3, it's an MP3. But don't trust the bit rate, because if you have a 320 kilobytes per second MP3 and it sounds bad, then don't trust that 320 bit. Don't trust the fact that because it says it's a high quality one, it is. Because if someone before that was turned into a 320 kbps MP3 had done something with it, or it started off as a lower quality file, just putting it into the high quality format isn't going to mend it. It's like, you imagine you have a good quality mixtape, and I mean a real mixtape, and you use one of those tape to tape machines to make a copy of it. Then you make another copy of it, then you make another copy of it, and then you take that final copy and you put it on CD. Just because it's on CD, which normally sounds great, it doesn't mean it's going to sound great, because you know that the copy before sounded terrible. So don't trust the bit rate. Don't trust 320 kbps on an MP3. Someone might have ripped it from something inferior, so check with your ears. The third point, which we're going to touch on again in, I believe, tomorrow's commandment, is only get your music from trusted sources. Don't get it from sources which you don't know the quality of, or which are illegal, or which you don't trust, because that's where you're likely to come into bad quality material again. And the fourth point is kind of helps you with the loudness wars problem, which you can, as I say, look into on the resources for this video. And it also helps you when you're getting your music from different places. You might have some vinyl rips, you might have some stuff that producers have made that you've downloaded from SoundCloud, stuff that producers have sent you, even mashups you've done yourself, plus the commercial stuff which you might have bought from any number of stores. So you've got this whole amalgam of music all from different places. There's two tools I can tell you about. The first one is called MP3 Gain. Now it only works on MP3s, as you would imagine. I actually recommend you keep, if you're going to use MP3s, stick with them. Don't mix up the format. MP3 Gain is a simple little program. It's available for PC, also for Mac, although the Mac version is harder to use than the PC version, but you can get it for Mac too, which looks at your MP3s and sets the volume correct for all of them, so they all sound the same. That means they'll work in your iPod, it means that they'll work when you stream it straight from the computer, it means that they will all sound the same with the same gain settings on any DJ equipment. If you took them on a USB stick and played them in a CDJ, they'd all sound the same. And the way it does it, and the reason I like MP3 Gain is it does it without altering the actual musical material. So it won't change or degrade your MP3 or re-record it in order to do that. It just sets a little flag at the beginning of the MP3 that you can't hear, but your DJ software or any software can read, which says the rest of this needs to be played at this volume, and that's it. So it doesn't actually alter the music. So it's a nice little program, it's free. So you can look for that on the web, it's MP3 Gain. More about that in the resources as well. The second thing, which some DJs swear by and some won't touch, is a program called Platinum Notes. Platinum Notes will take all your music in bulk, scan it, listen to it, and make changes to hopefully, and in the vast majority of cases, according to some DJs, and I happen to be one of them, it will improve the sound quality. It'll give it a bit of thump. It will almost make it sound like vinyl used to sound. That's a strong thing to say, but I swear by the program. I put all my music through it, and as I say, a lot of DJs do that too. Now, Platinum Notes is expensive. I think it's $97. But if you're playing on big sound systems and you want to have a consistent sound, it might be worth investigating it. Have a look into it. Look on the forums and see what other people think. See if it might be for you. So there we go. That's our 8th commandment. Know how to deliver great sound quality. I'll see you in the next video.